Bejul Somaia. He's partner at Lightspeed, a global venture capital firm with investments across India, Silicon Valley, and Southeast Asia, among many other markets, and $3.4 billion in AUM, and has invested $1.6 billion of that so far. Thank you so much for joining us here. Now, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, in terms of the scene in India right now, I would possibly imagine that with the, this whole AI wave that is it at a nascent point right now where we can expect that it might have slowed down, but we should expect it to catch right back up over the course of the next few years?
Yeah, I think it's still early on the AI side. What we tend to see is innovations like AI, in this case, starting in the US. But one of the things over the past decade or 15 years that we've noticed is it's not long before you start seeing those pockets of activity crop up in other parts of the world. I think that the key will be, though, that the areas that the innovation will happen in will likely be slightly different. Our sense is, as it relates to AI and generative AI, right now a lot of the innovation is really at the infrastructure layer. Our sense is that India will have some of that, but will likely be an important applications market. So for applications to take off, you do need some of the core technical infrastructure to get built. We're in that phase right now. Overall, I would say it's an exciting market for these kinds of developments, but it's still, on this front, it's early.
What's the, just give me a sense of the startup culture in India.
Yeah.
I mean, around Asia, we've seen, I think we've seen pretty much almost every Asian capital dubbed the next Silicon Valley. The need and the value of having some kind of cultural contiguity, some kind of infrastructural facilitation process is very important in actually getting these things off the ground.
Yeah, I wish we would stop labeling markets as the next X or the next Y, or even businesses as the next X or the next Y, because every country is different. And, we've heard, these countries are the next Silicon Valley. We hear often India's comparisons with China. I think those are all misguided. India is very different from any other country. We may see value creation broadly in the same areas, but the nuance of it will be very different. And if I think about, characterizing the entrepreneurial environment there in response to your question, one of the most fascinating things is when Lightspeed started investing in India in 2007, I would characterize the archetypal Indian founder as being somewhat defensive and control-oriented, in the sense that, there's risk aversion. Failure is not good. And if I contrast that to what we see today, and founders are the raw material of the venture business, really bold, really ambitious, looking to turn industries upside down, willing to take the risk. And as a result, less oriented around control of their business and more around how do we build something really big. And that's really necessary for venture capital.